Well, hello and welcome to another edition of 907 Sports, where it's all Alaska all the time. Happy early Thanksgiving to those celebrating out there and making those travel arrangements, safe travels out there. As you know, for any Alaska sports fan, Alaska basketball fan, they know around that turkey time is when we see that premier college basketball tournament taking place in our backyard. And of course, I'm talking about the Great Alaska Shootout. And you know, it may not be the ones we remember of years past, but still a quality Division I tournament happening in our backyard. And that took place this past weekend at the Alaska Airlines Center. With the 4-team shootout, we had St. Thomas, as well as UC Irvine, and then in this matchup you see here Bowling Green versus UAA in the first. Here in this was the second for the third place game, and this was an important one because actually had Alaskans all over this one. You see Elena Mack dropping the bucket there. She had a double-double, and she's actually the only one with shootout experience on the Seawolves. Miley Anderson, and she's from Wasilla, in her first shootout tournament appearance, 19 points. She balled out in that one for sure, and they were going up against a Bowling Green team that is led by head coach Fred Shamil from Palmer, a Moose graduate, and it was a tight one throughout. 4 points. Bowling Green comes out on top of this one. So Shamil coming back to this home state where it all started and getting the victory. And we also get to hear from some of the Seawolves about being able to host this premier event. They put up great efforts against Division I teams for D2 schools. So here's some sound after what was a successful tournament.
It was surreal, actually, you know, like coming out and seeing like the Alaska Shootout. I was like, wow, you know, it was like a slap in the face, like this is real, like I'm here. So it was really, really cool.
You know, I love this tournament. I think we're going to give it a break for a year or two at least. But I would love to bring our team back and let a whole new crop experience Alaska.
I mean, we're still disappointed in the outcome of the game, but I think it showed that we can hang around bigger and better competition. I think that excites the rest of us for the rest of the season too, so looking forward to it.
And you heard from Miley Anderson and then Fred Schmiel, who's the Palmer graduate, now head coach of Bowling Green, has had quite the journey to the head coach of Bowling Green, which you can read about on our website for sure. But maybe what the biggest story in Alaska sports has been this week is the surprise matchup we have between UAA and UAF Volleyball happening at the national tournament in the very first round. It was something that neither side necessarily expected going into it. We actually have reaction from both teams of the moment they found out they were going head-to-head for the first time ever in this national tournament. Obviously familiar foes, which we'll get to in a minute, but just have to relive those reactions. First we'll see from UAA and then from UAF. 2016.
Here in the 4-5 matchup as Alaska Anchorage 2015 runner-up will try to break through against Alaska Fairbanks.
Oh, that was quite the reaction from both sides there, as it did quite come as a shock. I mean, just the way everything had to have played out for this matchup to unfold, pretty incredible. And it's for UAA, I think this is their 12th time coming to this national tournament since 2009. They made it as far as the title game in 2016, so familiar territory for them. But for UAF, this is their first time ever making the national tournament, and this is something that's been building over the last decade, really, with head coach Brian Scott. He's been lifting this program up, you know, not just from the bottom of the conference, but out from being cut altogether at one point, which we'll hear from Coach Scott here.
It wasn't that long ago that Kate, the assistant coach, was pleading to the Board of Regents that we shouldn't be cutting any athletics at UAF. But just to see it make a 180, and here we are. We're not talking about cutting things. We're talking about going and competing for a national championship. Like that's pretty cool. That was a special moment.
You can hear how much this means to him and the program overall. And now their first matchup with UAA. They've had over 100 matchups head-to-head against each other all time, but of course none bigger than this one. It's December 4th in San Diego. West Regional first round NCAA D2 volleyball tournament. Can't script it any better than this, folks. So we're going to hear from Madison Galloway Sr. from UAA about this matchup.
I'm so excited. I think for us, with how rankings have gone our way, haven't gone our way this whole season, I feel like we came into it, you know, not expecting, not wanting anything. I personally couldn't be happier with how it played out. I'm really excited for this. I think this is going to be a lot of fun.
And in the two matchups this year, it was actually UAF taking both of them in 4 sets. So see if they can't make it 3, and we'll see if, you know, UAA can't get one back from them. It's hard to beat a team 3 times in the same season. But really what we're witnessing is the most successful, the best college volleyball season we've had in the state ever. Pretty incredible. And of course, their successes were recognized by the conference, getting some awards there. UAA's head coach, Stacy Meisner, earning that Coach of the Year honors. You know, they were co-champions of the GNAC with UAF as well, one of 4 teams. And Tessa Onaga is the UAF libero, and she earns Defensive Player of the Year. She led the conference in digs. One of the best defensive specialists going in the country at the D2 level. And then some first team honorees, Tia Allen, Lee Ivankina from UAA, and then Michaela Henderson from UAF, with some excuse me, other honorable mentions in there as well. So just a ton of talent in this matchup coming December 4th. So certainly looking forward to how that one plays out. Of course, we'll bring you the lead up and the results and all that good stuff for that historic matchup that's coming up here soon. And that'll be the last of volleyball, unfortunately, for the time being, as we've seen our first ski race finally at Kincaid now, and hockey season, of course, off and running. We're getting ready to tip off the high school basketball season next month. So as always, if you have storylines or athlete of the week nominees or things you want to highlight, reach out to us. sports@ktuu.com is our email. We want to hear from you, and then maybe give them a shout out as well. So appreciate you tuning in to 907 Sports. Happy Thanksgiving. Appreciate you tuning in, and we'll catch you next time.